Yo. Big Kish back up in here. Shout out to Rap Lore. He just broke down how Drake features have destroyed careers. Yeah, we about to check this out, y'all. And I'm going to leave a link in the description. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
It turns out that getting a cosign from Drake can really screw up your whole career.
Well, soon as the Drake record dropped, I was having bidding wars between $8 and $9 million.
Really?
Yeah.
For over a decade, getting a feature from Drake has been seen as the ultimate prize in the rap game. It's widely assumed that
So it was a stimulus package, right? But it destroyed careers. Why? Let's check it out.
Drake's shout out is enough to turn an up-and-coming artist into an overnight sensation. But what if there was a dark side to the so-called Drake stimulus package? That's why we're launching a full-scale breakdown on one of the industry's best-kept secrets. Because when you really do the math, it turns...
Yeah, I heard about the Drake curse, right? Yeah, there's a Drake curse out there as well.
Turns out that a Drake feature sometimes does a lot more harm than good. Did Drake really almost crash the rise of one of Atlanta's most beloved groups? Which rising rap stars got left in the dust by Drake's curse? And what's the real controversy behind Drake's notorious record label? We've even crunched the numbers between record sales, chart placements, and social media metrics to determine which artists have managed to escape Drake's shadow. Is it pure coincidence that some of Drake's most notorious ops are his former collaborators? Finally, we're gonna dissect how the Drake curse goes way further than just music, and it's the reason why he's hated by athletes around the world. Is Drake sitting courtside the ultimate Achilles heel? But if you really want to understand the Drake curse, you have to look at his rocky relationship with the Migos.
You would have never knew who the fuck the Migos was if Drake didn't remix.
Do we got to do this? Do we really got to start off like this? We got to start off with the Hot Pocket.
Relationship with the Migos.
You would have never knew who the fuck the Migos was if Drake didn't remix Versace.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
Way back in 2013,
Not
the
true.
Migos were still an underground act in Atlanta. The group featured Quavo, his nephew Takeoff, and their cousin but not really Offset. Despite rapping together for 5 years, the Migos were still on the hunt for their big breakout moment. But that summer, everything changed when they dropped their third mixtape, YRN. The tape made a bunch of noise in Atlanta, establishing Migos as the next big up-and-comers in the city. But while the Migos were hard at work building up their local buzz, they had no idea that their music had also inspired Canada's biggest superstar. The same week that Migos...
I wonder why. I wonder why he was so inspired. You see what just happened? Maul just said we wouldn't know who the Migos was if Drake ain't touch him. Well, how the heck did Drake find out who the Migos was? Yeah.
Migos released YRN, they were invited by 2 Chainz to perform at Atlanta's biggest hip-hop show, the Hot 107.9's annual Birthday Bash concert. But backstage, they ran into none other than Drake himself, who confessed that he was a huge fan of their music and that he wanted to remix one of their songs. Like he naming songs off there like Pronto or I Like the Song Versace. Like he really excited. So we were like, oh, it caught us off guard. He was like,
Yeah, he's excited for himself to steal it.
Want to do something with y'all ASAP. For the Migos, this was a monumental deal. While the Migos were still building up their name in the South, Drake was an undeniable mainstream success story with chart-topping hits. But while the Migos saw value in a Drake collab, they were completely unprepared for how much he would alter the trajectory of their careers. Migos' manager apparently sent Drake a few different options for songs he could potentially jump on, like Chinatown or Dennis Rodman. But instead of coordinating with Migos' team, Drake said F all that and basically just did whatever he wanted. In July of 2013, Drake uploaded his remix to the Migos song Versace on SoundCloud, and it became an instant worldwide smash.
He did his own thing. So the Migos managing them, they said, okay, we got some suggestions. You might can hop on this. You might be a good fit for that. Drake said, nah, hell no, I do my own thing. He took the beat, took the song, and uploaded his own version to it. You see that? He probably already had it in the tuck. He probably already stole the flow and everything. He probably already stole it.
Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. This is a
placement in the Billboard Hot 100, and even led to publications like Rolling Stone and Complex to rank Versace as one of the best songs of the year. Justin Bieber even got on the action by posting a video of him rapping along to the remix. To anybody on the outside looking in, the Migos had definitely arrived, going from local obscurity to overnight sensation, all because of the Drake cosign. Or did they? It turns out that things were way more complicated behind the scenes. Drake totally took the Migos by surprise by uploading his Versace remix himself instead of working with the Migos independent label to figure out a release strategy. And when the label tried to coordinate with Drake so they could officially release a song on iTunes and sell it so the Migos could financially benefit, Drake didn't provide them with the legal clearances. And I'm not gonna lie, that's super shady. According to the book Rap Capital, an Atlanta story, Drake may have deliberately snaked the Migos by putting his verse first on the song.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Now everybody thinking it's Drake's song.
Radio stations and DJs would play Versace and let Drake get out his first verse and cut the song before Quavo, Offset, or Takeoff even got a chance to rap their own song. And on top of that, it took a long time for the Migos to even capitalize on the cosign that Drake gave them. Despite the popularity of the Versace remix, the Migos struggled to create a follow-up project that delivered on the hype. Their debut studio album, Young Rich Nation, debuted at number 17 on the Billboard charts, moving only 18,000 copies. Now, while you may assume that a Drake cosign would have boosted the Migos brand, it also led to sky-high expectations that they weren't able to meet. Plus, it may have also painted a huge target on their back. On April 18th, within weeks of releasing Young Rich Nation, members of the Migos were arrested on gun and drug charges while performing at Georgia State University. It's safe to say that Drake made the Migos way more popular, but they weren't quite expecting the level of scrutiny that came with the spotlight. It took nearly 4 years for the Migos to outrun the Drake curse. In 2017, Migos released their comeback project Culture, which debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, moving 131,000 copies in its first week and earning a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album.
Good job. Good job. Good job. They got away from that ninja. Oh, thief.
It's a huge step up from Young Rich Nation going brick just 2 years earlier. While the Migos eventually managed to claw their way to the top, some say that they never fully escaped Drake's shadow. In fact, a lot of rappers that Drake decided to link up with never managed to fully recover like the Migos did.
No one trusts Drake. He's like known as the...
Let me find out this is before this interview where she just said no one trusts Drake. Let me find out this is before like that. Let me find out this is before we don't trust you. Not like that, but we don't trust you. Why is everybody saying we don't trust you? This is a problem.
The career killer. Like most people that do like a feature with Drake, they don't have another song or career after that.
In 2020,
That's the Drake curse. You heard what she said?
when the Alabama singer Young Blue received a huge career boost when Drake decided to remix his single, Your Mind Still. The remix only came about because fellow Alabama native DeMarcus Cousins was a huge fan of blues music, and he reached out directly to Drake to make the record happen. Drake's remix helped supercharge the sales of Your Mind Still, and the song peaked at number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100. But that Drake verse ended up being only a short-term play. In the 5 years since, Young Blue has continued to drop new projects like 2022's Tantra and 2024's Jeremy. Despite netting collaborations with Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and Ty Dolla $ign, Young Blue's career never caught up to that early high of getting Drake on the remix of Your Mind Still. A similar situation happened to Memphis rapper BlocBoy JB in 2018. BlocBoy was building a homegrown fan base with viral hits like Shoot and Rover until Drake...
Hey, why you got those marked out like that? Listen, a lot of these people careers, they be taking off, they be doing good. They be doing good locally or whatever. They be in their mode. But they just want that extra, you know what I'm saying? All they do is got to be patient. All they had to do is be patient. But they just want that instant gratification, that instant, I need it. No, let me get that Drake. That Drake just brought them way back, just set them back 10 steps back, messing with Drake. Dang, all they had to do is be patient. They'd be good because they on a steady pace. Whoop. They're ETF, right? They're ETF. You know what I mean? But Drake is volatile. They mess with Drake, he volatile. Bring him right back down. Whoop. Tell him, man. Tell him, man.
Reached out to him, slid through the city, and appeared as a feature artist on the song Look Alive.
901 Shelby Drive, look alive, look alive.
I want to hear that nonsense.
Look Alive instantly became Block Boy JB's biggest song to date. The single peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, with the music video pulling in damn near 400 million views. Drake's cosign launched Block Boy JB from being a rapper on the come up to a superstar in waiting, except it all ended up being downhill from there. Despite rumors that Drake wanted to sign Block Boy JB to his label October's Very Own, Block Boy ended up inking a deal with Interscope. Drake's cosign definitely helped Block Boy score collaborations with A-list rappers like A$AP Rocky, Lil Durk, and 21 Savage, but he never again saw the type of blockbuster chart success that he scored earlier in his career. Matter of fact, Block Boy was relentlessly mocked by none other than Tekashi 6ix9ine in 2020 for being a one-hit wonder, and he's
So you damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you do sign with Drake, he gonna take everything you got. He gonna take every song you got and keep it for himself. And now you're gonna be working in the sweatshop. But if you go on your own and just use Drake for his collab, and then you turn around and go on your own, he gonna put a word into everybody else. Look, don't let him shine. Don't let him shine no more. You be better off. Don't even go around him. Don't even go around him. Don't even go around him.
He's not totally wrong, but New Jersey rapper Fetty Wap may have been the biggest example of a so-called Drake curse. In 2015, Fetty established himself as a full-fledged Billboard titan. His song Trap Queen peaked at number 2, while 679 landed at an impressive number 4. That September, his debut studio album topped the Hot 200, moving 129,000 copies in its very first week. It's safe to say that Fetty Wap really had the mainstream on Smash until Drake came along. Drake came and hopped on the remix to the single
You see how he said? You see how he said it? Until Drake came along. Oh boy.
My Way, which had already impacted the top 10 charts. The link up with Drake only added to Fetty's star power for a hot second. Despite running Billboard for damn near an entire year, Fetty faced an epic fall off in the years to come. Not only did he never link up with Drake again, but Fetty's follow-up albums failed to chart at all. Making matters worse, in 2021, Fetty was hit with a whooping federal indictment for drug trafficking. Fetty pled guilty, and since 2023, he's been serving a 6-year prison sentence in federal lockup. Crazy. So talk about a fall from grace. But of course, the biggest victims of the Drake curse are easily the artists signed to his label OVO.
The reason Drake isn't as great of a label head is because he's never actually put on his people like that. It's the OVO sweatshop, right?
Officially founded in 2012, OVO was promoted as a way for Drake to spotlight rising talent, especially when it came to artists from his hometown of Toronto. With his own fashion label, annual music festival, and collaborations with the NBA, NFL, and Air Jordan, one would easily assume that OVO would be the premier destination for any rising rapper looking for a record deal. Plus, you'd have access to Drake, a proven global superstar who is ranked as one of the best-selling music artists of all time. But it didn't quite work out that way. Despite Drake's landmark success, pretty much every artist who has ever been signed to OVO has struggled to distinguish themselves from their boss. In fact, one of OVO's biggest controversies was none other than I Love McConan, whose 2014 song Tuesday became a platinum hit record. Drake was so gassed when he heard the record, he not only hopped on the remix, but he also signed McConan to a record deal with OVO Sound. I think you know where this is gonna go though. Despite the colossal success of Tuesday, McConan struggled under Drake's leadership to the point
Man, the McConan, he had a nice vibe with his joint. Going up on a Tuesday. That was a nice vibe. So imagine the other stuff that he had that Drake took and we think is Drake's. I told y'all, we only know what everybody tell us. Drake got some stuff that we think that's Drake's, but it's McConan stuff. This dude, man.
That he decided to go public about his issues with the label. In a 2017 interview with Fader, McConan compared his experience with OVO to being in prison and said that he felt like he was used by Drake. McConan alleged that the label deliberately delayed the release of new music.
Look how healthy he used to look. Look how healthy he used to look.
Used by Drake. McConan alleged that the
Look at that. Look how healthy he used to look. Come on, man. He got with Drake, man. He's start eating all them sausages and pancakes and stuff, man. White rice and all that.
the label deliberately delayed the release of new music, adding fuel to the rumors that OVO was actually functioning as a so-called OVO sweatshop. Fans speculate that many of the artists signed to OVO are actually called upon to write and produce hits for Drake to use for himself, and McConan's allegations only made that speculation more credible. While McConan eventually parted ways with OVO.
What's the Mortal Kombat character? Is it Soul Khan? The one who snap, want your soul. Take your soul and then he become you? That's Drake. That's Drake.
OVO in 2016, his follow-up albums and EPs have all failed to chart on the Billboard Hot 200, leading McConan to declare his retirement in 2024. R&B duo Majid Jordan faced a very similar trajectory too. In 2013, Drake featured the duo on his smash hit single Hold On We're Going Home, which debuted at number 4 on the Hot 100 and became Drake's biggest crossover song at the time. After inking a deal with OVO, Majid Jordan dropped their debut self-titled album in 2015 and even scored a Drake feature on the song My Love. But despite signing to one of the biggest rappers at the time, the album peaked at only 69 on the Billboard 200. Majid Jordan has since dropped 3 albums with OVO, enlisting features with Drake, Sway Lee, and Diddy, only to face declining sales across the board.
Because Drake took all the hits from him. Now all they got to work with is the regular joints. You know, every album you got a couple hits. You know what I'm saying? You got about 2, 3 hits. Drake take all the hits from him now on a album. It's just the basic joints. Now they ain't got nothing to reel the people in with. Because Drake took it all.
When you go down the list of OVO's label roster, the same problem actually comes up again and again. Artists like Roy Woods and Division have been mainstays on Drake's label for years, but his takeover as the most streamed artist of all time hasn't trickled down to their benefit. Party Next Door, who was OVO's first ever signee, has long struggled to escape Drake's gravitational pull. Despite a decade-long run with the label, Party didn't earn his first #1 project until a couple weeks ago when he teamed up with Drake for his collab album, Some Sexy Songs for You. So, all that to say, it looks like signing to OVO isn't necessarily going to make all your dreams come true. In fact, some of the artists who managed to dodge the Drake curse are the ones who immediately went and cut ties with Drake.
We're still like very close, you know, but it's cool that the world can see us kind of doing our own thing. OVO XOs, you know, it'll always be there.
The Weeknd was famously linked to Drake at the very beginning of his career.
Weeknd just trying to be nice. He's just trying to be nice. He know what's up. You know what's up.
With shared Toronto roots, the artist teamed up on Drake's sophomore record, Take Care, with The Weeknd claiming that he gave up a ton of his own songs for Drake's benefit. According to industry rumors, Drake was dead set on signing The Weeknd to OVO, but when The Weeknd turned down the offer to partner with Republic, their relationship became pretty tense. Despite the bad blood, The Weeknd deciding to part ways with Drake may have ultimately saved his career. Ranked by Guinness World Records as the world's most popular artist, The Weeknd has become an undeniable superstar. And
there you go, Weeknd. There you go. There you go. He escaped it. He escaped it. Y'all remember the locks? We Are the Streets. We'll be aping you, aping you, aping you, aping you. You cannot escape the Drake. Yeah.
To hear him tell it, he believes Drake would have wrecked his career too. On the 2024 song All To Myself with Future and Metro Boomin, The Weeknd took shots directly at Drake and pretty much validated all the talk about there being a curse on OVO artists. Quote, I thank God that I never signed my life away.
Dang.
Believe it or not, Drake's arch nemesis Kendrick Lamar was also once a beneficiary of the—
Look at that owl. I know this is off topic, but look at that owl. Look at that owl. That owl got waves in his hair, man. Look at that. That owl look way better than Drake owl in his No Care video. That owl in that No Care video, man, all skinny. Look at it. Look at Drake. Look at Kendrick owl. And then I'm gonna do a comparison video. Watch. I'm gonna do a comparison video. This need to be studied. Let's get it.
Drake's arch nemesis Kendrick Lamar was also once a beneficiary of the Drake stimulus package. In 2011, Drake gave Kendrick a standalone song on Take Care called Buried Alive Interlude. In the song, Kendrick raps about his first meeting with Drake and his mixed feelings on fame and being a celebrity. Quote, "So blame it on Mr. OVOXO, the reason why I'm breathing all the..." In 2012, Drake returned the favor by featuring on Kendrick's song Poetic Justice, which peaked at number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100. Great song. But that very next year, Drake and Kendrick's relationship soured when Kendrick called Drake out on the song Control. Quote, "And that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky." Drake reacted negatively to being mentioned by Kendrick, and the two artists never worked together again. Which honestly might be for the best, because we'd never get the masterclass of hating that Kendrick put on last year when he dropped Not Like Us. And sidebar, it's kind of wild that two of the artists who Drake hates the most both headlined the Super Bowl, and three if you count Rihanna, honestly. I'm just saying, beefing with...
That's wild. That's wild. The ones that Drake hate the most, the three, they escaped him. They escaped Drake. Rihanna escaped him. Dot escaped him back in the day when he keep bragging about this tour situation. And The Weeknd escaped from him.
Drake may have some career benefits. To play devil's advocate, there are a few artists who managed to work with Drake early in their careers and still kept up the momentum. 21 Savage's 2016 collab with Drake, Sneak In, helped him gain mainstream recognition and leverage for his recording contract with Epic Records. Nearly 10 years later, Savage has become a crossover artist with chart-topping records, a Grammy win, and his very own full-length collab project with Drake, Her Loss. Lil Baby received his first ever top 10 hit when he teamed up with Drake for 2018's Yes Indeed. Instead of stalling
Lil Baby done. He done. He finished. He's finished.
out, Baby doubled down with 2020's My Turn, which became the best-selling album that entire year. So when you look at the big picture, some artists were better prepared for dealing with the massive hype machine that came with the Drake cosign. But the Drake curse doesn't just affect rappers, because a lot of athletes have straight up suffered whenever Drake decided to show support.
You like to gamble?
I love to gamble. I sounded way too enthusiastic about that, but yeah, I really do like to gamble.
Back in 2014, Drake released his song Draft Day, where he celebrated the rise of top NFL prospects Johnny Manziel.
Remember Dot said he got gambling problems. He said, I sound way too enthusiastic. He letting you know that really I have a problem. Dot called it out. You have gambling problems, women problems, superstar, right? And the fucking deadbeat that should never say more life, meet the grand. Telling y'all, man, he called them all out.
And as a bonus, fellow Canadian Andrew Wiggins also got a shout out as he was recruited by the Cleveland Cavs. But Drake's excitement didn't quite translate to the real world. Andrew Wiggins had an underwhelming record with the NBA, while Manziel was bounced out of the NFL after just 2 seasons. In 2015, Drake tried his best to show support of his on and off again girlfriend, tennis champion Serena Williams. He pulled up at the US Open just as Serena was in the middle of a potentially record-breaking season. Instead of cheering Serena on to victory, she lost in a stunning upset to Roberta Vinci in the semifinals. But 10 years later, Serena would finally get her.
He was there to distract her. He got paid to distract her. That's what happened. He got paid to distract her. There ain't nobody talking about that.
Licked back by Crip walking at the Super Bowl as Kendrick performed Not Like Us. In 2018, Drake played hype man to Conor McGregor in advance of McGregor's fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov. I'm amazed that I actually got that. Drake not only declared Conor as his favorite UFC fighter, but he also showed up to the weigh-in decked out in Irish colors and let Conor bring him out during the UFC 229. Drake was going all in on his support of Conor and pretty much became an unofficial member of his entourage. But despite all of Drake's cheerleading, Conor was absolutely demolished by Khabib that night. Thankfully, Drake was tucked away in a VIP suite somewhere because after Khabib ripped Conor McGregor to shreds, he jumped the fence of the octagon and started a ringside brawl with Conor's friends. And honestly, if Khabib pulled up on Drake like that night, the memes would have been legendary.
Yeah, it was.
In 2019, one of the MLB's most hyped prospects was none other than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. After making his debut in April with the Toronto Blue Jays, Guerrero was set off to a respectable start, going 2 for 8 at the plate. But then he had to meet his favorite artist, Drake. As soon as the two linked up, Guerrero's record tanked, falling in a 2 for 15 slump over his next 4 games. In 2024, Drake made headlines when he put up $500,000 in support of the Edmonton Oilers winning the Stanley Cup, but instead the Florida Panthers clinched Game 7. And that was just weeks after Drake lost another $500,000 when the Celtics defeated the Mavericks in the
Y'all see how that spirit travel? Y'all see how that spirit travel? The spirit is real. That's why we're talking about the spirit. The spirit is real. I'm telling y'all, the spirit is real. This ain't just no coincidence. This ain't nothing. This is the he has a demonic spirit hanging over his head. Very demonic spirit hanging over his head. Until he cleanses his spirit, start fasting and praying and getting himself right, and spending more time with Adonis and them and the other girl, Drake is headed. He headed for destruction. He's headed for destruction. He's headed for destruction. I'm telling you.
In the NBA Finals. And honestly, if you have a whole curse named after you, it might be in your best interest to stop gambling, but
in your best interest to go ahead and repent and give your life to the Lord. That's what you need to do. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this Drake curses and every feature have destroyed careers. This is wild. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Shout out to Rap Law. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.